You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make this no more emotional than it already is. So, and she goes through the whole, okay, prepare yourself. And so I prepared myself. And then right as we were about to get into the exam, I turned around and said, wait a minute. What's your first name? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think let's get for real now. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We about to have a personal moment. I need to know you on a personal level. Because
you're going to always be able to go tell people you stuck your finger.
So then I turn around and then we getting ready to do the exam. Then I turned around again. I said, wait a minute. So how long you been doing this? Let's sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee. You don't want to go out and maybe, see a movie together or something before we cross this line. And it's a very emotional moment for a man.
It's a real moment.
And then, then when you hear that you look fine, okay, thank you so much. But ain't no, she was a nice looking lady too, but ain't no hitting on her after that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no so what you doing on the weekends, dude? For real? Come on, man.
And the thing that I really cringed at, Big Kenny, was how the doctor was like, we're going to need to do this every year now.
Listen,
now, I'm thinking not until I feel some pain. We're not going to need to be.
I will say this. I did it once. I was cool. The next time I find out, next time I do it, or the next time they touch my prostate, will be in an autopsy. That's just me. If something is wrong with me, I'm going to be walking down the street and just pass out on my face. Right. And they be like, dude's prostate was size of a basketball, and I mean, whatever. Whatever. I'm not going back. It's like prison. I ain't going back, Pete.
Before we go to break, we have to introduce somebody that probably found prostates. If you know anything about our counterpart right here, prostate searching is not above her.
Not out of her realm.
Yes. But it is beneath me. That is for sure.
Marky, good morning.
Good morning. That just went from Dear Diary to Dear Diarrhea. Jeez Louise. Golly, I did not know what I was getting into this morning.
She said getting into it.
We're going to go to break, Marky. Hold on. We'll be right back. More of the Sports Jock Show. NFL action, playoffs hot and heavy. What a weekend. Yesterday, what a weekend this coming Sunday. 888-926-7562. The Sports Jock, that's JOC.com.
Hey, don't miss a show in 2014. Get the Sports JOC wake-up call at 9 a.m. Sign up at thesportsjock.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Ooh, that was a heck of a sack.
Chicken wings? Ice cold brews? Bob, he might want to hit the showers and head to Hooters.
Hooters is your one-stop shop for food, fun, and fantasy football.
Get your very own fantasy football draft kit and keep up-to-the-minute stats with Hooters' totally free Wi-Fi.
Great food, great fun, and your very own cheerleaders, the world-famous Hooters girls.
Hooters!
Visit HootersDraftParty.com to book your party.
Your busy lifestyle demands performance. Energy drinks and shots can be an acquired taste and can cause jitters, crashes, and even stomach discomfort. The new 8-Hour Energy Patch is the natural, sugar, and calorie-free alternative to energy drinks, shots, and even coffee. It's the only energy that sticks. Just 2 time-release patches will keep you going at work, the gym, or even a night out. No unpleasant taste, jitters, or crashes. For a 12-hour boost, just add another patch. For only 4 hours, use one. You're in charge. Visit 8hourenergy.com for more info and your free sample. Do not exceed 3 patches per day.
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. What? What do you mean she's not coming?
But it's always worth it.
It's the fairy princess!
It is I, Cruz Zinkelpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
In the red zone.
Welcome back to the Sports Shock Show. I'm the Sports Shock Wayne Candy. It is 2014. As I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to be a little rough and a little raw, which means that I'm probably going to have to fire the good producer because he's going to be putting up that church finger telling me not to talk about stuff, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. And, I don't care about the grading system anymore, good producer. Really, really don't. Just like you didn't care about your dog peeing on my mailbox. I don't really care anymore about your grading system of what we can't. We're going to be butthole all day long. Get ready. Before we jump into Saturday's action in the NFL, real quick note for you women out there, especially you 30, 32, 35, 38-year-old women who are putting all that pressure on your man to have a child. 58-year-old woman out in Utah, Miss Julia Navarro, is expecting in 2 weeks to give birth to her grandchild. She's been the surrogate carrier for her daughter, who's 32. 58-year-old carrying a baby. Let's hope that there's no deformities. But
She's already deformed. A 58-year-old pregnant is a deformity.
Well, I'm quite sure the family would have made sure that she medically could carry it, correct?
I'm sure, but still. Can you imagine an almost 60-year-old, someone who could almost be retired, pregnant, walking into Babies R Us?
Yeah.
And what does the child call her? Grandmama mama?
G-ma.
I mean, because it's technically...
Maybe she calls her
it's
surrogate.
biologically going to be technically your mother.
Correct.
Because you carried the child.
It's Utah, people. Did you not hear me say Utah?
Okay.
I
didn't hear that.
Yeah, that changes biology.
I'm saying it's a lot of sister cousins, mama.
Yeah,
okay.
sister wives.
Right.
Yeah. That is my mama's sister, but that's my grandmother's aunt.
Brother.
Yeah. It's Utah.
Right. This is my uncle brother. And my cousin's son,
58 years old, giving birth. God bless you.
Now, I'm thinking artificial insemination. Or did they do it the old-fashioned?
No. They did it.
They definitely did.
They did it through the doctor.
Oh, okay. I was because it's Utah. You know,
yeah, that is true.
Look, now I'm gonna go have a baby with you, but I'm gonna put it in your mother.
It was Utah. Maybe they saved a few dollars.
What's funny, they did have an episode on the show, Shameless,
right,
last season, where
I love
the lady couldn't have a child, so the boyfriend tried to get he actually did do what you're saying in the show.
Right.
I think maybe the mother in the show is maybe 50, though.
Right.
But it was interesting that they went the old school way.
Right.
And not through the doctor, so...
And for all of you young ladies out there struggling to give birth, if you got a friend, a good-looking mom or an auntie or just, a neighbor that you want me to inseminate for you and carry your baby, just let me know. Y'all can keep the kid. I'm just saying, we ain't got to split hairs.
You just want to shoot off a few rounds?
Hey, listen, I'm trying to help
range,
people. It's about helping people, Marky. You sound so selfish right now.
Clearly. I'm the one who's asking for leads. And I'm selfish.
I want to help.
Saturday's action in the NFL. Big game out in Seattle, where they said at one point when Marshawn Lynch scored a touchdown, the scales went up to earthquake-type noise.
Yeah.
New Orleans playing up there, and what seemed to be decent weather for Seattle. Outdoor stadium, no snow, was a little light rain. Seattle and that defense, Big Kenny Markey, I mean, when you look at the playoffs as a whole, a lot of these teams that we're going to talk about have great young defenses, and Drew Brees and his offense just could not figure out how to have any success when you watch this game. And it is evident the Seahawks had beat the Saints before this year, and it seemed like the same movie, part 2. Seattle hosting San Fran. We'll talk about San Fran in a minute, winning their game yesterday. But when you look at Russell Wilson, Big Kenny, I know numbers don't really do much for you. They don't jump off the page. Can they win a Super Bowl with him throwing for like 105 yards? I mean, is that possible?
Offense sells tickets. Defense wins championships. I think that when you beat a team like New Orleans, convincingly. It wasn't down to the last second where if Drew Brees has any ticks on the clock, he has a chance to beat you. He's done it many times in the past. But part of the reason that they won that game is that Seattle was playing some smash mouth football. Old-fashioned
98.
It's interesting to me that the sun was out and it was shining right before kickoff. Then kickoff came, and then the wind and the rain, and it was like, this is the type of day it's going to be. And then, like, one of the first hits was Seattle laying the wood on somebody. Right. Seattle laid the wood on dude, and he was like, we didn't practice for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Seemed like might be a changing of the guard as well. Russell Wilson up against Drew Brees. Drew Brees has always been one of those top-tier quality quarterbacks, and maybe it's time for him to pass the torch because they gave it a solid effort. It's not like anybody was slouching out there, and they still couldn't pull it off. So, but it was the defense.
It was a defense game, totally.
It was totally a defensive game. Now, New Orleans came to play.
And as you're saying, and Mark, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
When you watch the game, you could really see the defense, as Big Kenny was saying, the hitting the defense was doing seemed to wake up Seattle's offense. Next thing you know, it's like, well, let us play the same way.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how people forget how one side of the ball can make the other inspire. And next thing you know, the beast, Marshawn Lynch, who the NFL tried to fine $50,000 early in the week for not talking to the media, which is very interesting how you can find somebody who went to the podium. He just didn't talk long. So they rescinded it. Now they're saying, if you do that again, we're going to double it, but we won't charge you $50,000 this time. But it was a game, what you're saying, New Orleans seemed like they just didn't like that physical play. It was like on both sides of the ball.
And really, let's play. You know what I mean? Some people like it rough, but not that rough. Right. You know what I mean? They were really out there playing a style of ball that you rarely see on the West Coast.
Correct.
I would think that New Orleans would be a little more used to it being here in the South, but Seattle. It's interesting to me. Sean Payton had painted a Seahawks emblem in the middle of the Saints practice field to get them accustomed to playing the Seahawks, but the Seahawks really went and did some training. They did some hitting. They got prepared to take it to them, and it showed on the
seemed
score.
like they took their bye week and really
seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really, coach put in their mind the way you beat this team is with physical play. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't pull the pads out. Like, we're going to hit.
Yeah.
We're going to hit during practice so y'all can get back to the mindset, because they did take more of like a Baltimore, Pittsburgh old team approach on both sides. Like, here we come. I don't know what you're going to do, but we're going to be doing this right here and all day long.
And what I think is interesting in just the playoffs thus far, but especially in that game, is if there was a hit where there was a penalty levied against the Seahawks for that hit, you look on the sidelines, usually the team would be admonishing the player like that was a stupid mistake, that was a mental mistake. They looked at him like, hey, we'll take the 10 yards.
Yeah, good